Calaroga Shark Media.
Do you like stamps? Do you like baguettes? What if I could combine the two? Hi, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. The French Postal Service has released a scratch-and-sniff stamp. Why? It'll fill your letter room or office with the aroma of freshly baked bread, as it honors the classic baguette. We don't want the scientists working on the climate emergency or anything. Work on this. The baguette was recently honored by UNESCO with the status of intangible cultural heritage, which is described as a standout element in the story of humanity that can't be pinned down to the words on a page, the outcome of a battle, or the bricks making up a monument. The French Postal Service says the baguette, the bread of our daily lives, the symbol of our gastronomy, the jewel of our culture. The stamp will cost you just under €2. They're only making 600,000 copies set for printing. It depicts a baguette wrapped in blue and white ribbons. The stamp's ink is coated in microcapsules that burst when you scratch it. That releases the scent. A postal printer explains the difficulty is for us to apply the ink without breaking the capsule so that the smell could be released by the customers rubbing on the stamp. We're also told baguettes require specific knowledge and techniques. They're baked throughout the day in small batches, and the outcomes vary according to temperature and humidity. They also generate modes of consumption and social practices that differentiate them from other types of bread, such as daily visits to bakeries to purchase the loaves and specific display racks to match their long shape. I know I have a lilt in my voice because I'm having fun with the story. When I went to France, the bread is amazing. I think there were days where all I ate was bread. I mean, that's why I'm not the skinniest person you ever met, but if you ever get to France, load up on the bread. Those bread stores are fantastic. All right, good news. The folks in Thailand have figured out what to do with these monkeys. You've seen these videos where like the monkeys come in and just like start stealing food and sunglasses. You've seen this on YouTube, yes? Well, a Thai town has had it with these monkeys, and they've launched an offensive against the simian raiders using trickery and ripe tropical fruit. Here's the plan. Cages. In the cages, we put food. When the monkeys show up to eat the fruit, we trapped them in a cage. The cages were placed on the street early in the week, so the monkeys got used to them and found them less threatening. In this one town, there are thought to be around 2,500 monkeys running around the town. At the time of this recording, they had captured and resettled 30. A representative from the Department of National Parks Wildlife Conservation says, with the monkeys' intelligence, if some of them go into the cage and are caught, the others outside won't enter the cage to get the food because they've seen what happens. There are other monkey solutions. One auto parts shop now does its business from behind wire. The shop owner says, when there are a lot of monkeys around, customers are afraid of buying goods at the shop. Only our regulars aren't frightened. All right, so what happens to the monkeys? They get health checks, then they're cleaned and sterilized, inked with tattoos so they can be identified to keep records. After that, they're sent to holding pens outside of the town center while looking for a permanent home. What's unclear to me is, where is this permanent home? I hope these monkeys are okay. This story just went sideways on me. Let's change gears. Sarah likes to skateboard with her 3 kids, all right? That's about as opposite from the previous stories we can get. Sarah says, we're all stuck at home during the pandemic. I decided to buy the kids a skate ramp for Christmas. I'd never skated in my life. I quickly realized the ramp was a little too big for their skill level, but here I was with this ramp, so I decided to learn. I learned to skate right alongside my kids while also teaching them. However, Sarah's an adult, and the kids are kids, and kids tend to be fearless, and adults, we get a little scared. I hear ya. So Sarah gets to the top of the big ramp, and she's scared. And her 7-year-old was like, come on, Mom, you can do this. Sarah says, I love the idea of allowing the kids to be the teacher, to see that adults don't know it all and can be scared too. So I 100% let him know how scared I was. He was giving me tips and encouraging me, and it was just so cute. Peter was a big fan of Blockbuster Video. Man, remember how great Blockbuster was? It was such a good date night thing. Let's hit the Blockbuster. You didn't even know what you wanted to rent. Is the cool new release there? And you'd wind up with stuff. That's how I saw the first Fast and the Furious movie. I just was like, I'll get this. And then I loved it. And here we are, 12 movies later? I digress. Peter has constructed a miniature Blockbuster Video adjacent to his home. It's a tiny thing, so don't think you're going to Peter's house to rent videos. He recreated the DVD library out of an old record cabinet, complete with a light-up sign and popcorn. He tells Southwest News Service, it seems strange to me that people in the younger generations don't know about DVDs. It makes me feel old now that many people don't even know what Blockbuster was. The finished product is painted in Blockbuster blue. It's been covered in stickers of old movie posters and tricked out with lights. And it includes a sign that says, "Please remember to rewind." Hey, good news if you've got a McDonald's burger sitting there since 1995. It's probably still intact. Casey and Edwards claim they ordered a quarter pounder with cheese in 1995 from a McDonald's in Adelaide when they were teenagers. The burger spent over a decade of its 30 years inside a stuffy shed. Dean says, being teenagers, we ordered a truckload of food and it was way too much. It started a chain of events where we were joking, imagine if we kept this forever. They decided to hang on to the sandwich forever. 30 years later, it's remarkably intact with no signs of mold or smell. It's shrunk a little bit. Dean said even the rats didn't eat the burger. The rats had actually eaten through the plastic bag, heaps of clothes, got in the box, and they left the burger. Is this a record? Well, that's in dispute. In 2020, Utah's David Whipple claimed he had the world's oldest burger. He had a burger from 1999 that looked like it was fresh off the grill. Now listen to this. He had originally gotten the burger to use at a presentation on deterioration. And then he forgot about it, left it in his coat pocket, and didn't find it until 14 years later. McDonald's, though, they're like, look, this is totally normal. I don't know why you think it's weird that our food doesn't decay. Food prepared at home is left to dehydrate and could see similar results. Look closely. The burgers you're seeing are likely dried out and dehydrated, by no means the same as the day they were purchased. Totally normal. And those are your 5 good news stories for today. If you'd like this program commercial free, there's a link in the show notes for calaroga.sportingcast.fm. You go there and you can get a custom feed with no commercials in it, $5 a month. But with that, you get most of the shows on the network, including Daily Comedy News, which I host 7 days a week. So check that out. Link in the show notes. You have an awesome day.